What's going on, boys? NealGuides here. Welcome back to another video. In today's video, we're going to go over Mangala. Is he a meta card? Is he worth doing? Because first of all, look at his card. So he is, of course, in La Liga. He plays for Valencia. And he's got medium-high work rates, which is ideal. This year, work rates more than anything does make a difference. Whereas last year, it didn't mean too much. But this year, it actually does. You might notice, for example, a high, medium, or a high centre back does appear a bit higher. The most important thing I would say is concentrate on the defensive side. The attacking side is not that important, but ideally look for a high defensive or a medium defensive. Medium low is the best combination, but kind of being high enough where you're not getting, where you can be able to press, I would say, but not so deep where you're basically, you know, back against the wall and your opponent can play through ball in behind. So I think it's the best balance all around. Left-footed, 3-star skill moves and 5-star weak foot. Let's be realistic. 5-star skill moves for a natural centre-back is completely redundant. So it's kind of pointless. So the good thing is they gave him a 5-star weak foot. The question is, can he play CDM? We'll get over that in a second. He is French as well, so it's going to be quite easy to link him together with some other players. If we go over to his stats, so his sprint speed is good and acceleration is bad. He's probably going to need something like a hunter a shadow, or anything like an engine or a hunter, any of those chemistry styles to improve the pace. Naturally, he's a defender, so shadow is the one we want to go with. The reason why it's important is because his acceleration is not good enough. Sprint speed is probably the most important thing. There is no doubt about that. But his acceleration is not high enough. You need to put shadow on him to get 94 sprint speed and 85 acceleration. Even that is kind of a bit too slow. Shot power, pretty decent. Passing, which is the main stat you're really looking at. He's got a 5-star weak foot. And he's got 85 short passing and 82 long passing. So he can play as a CDM if you want to, if you want to distribute the ball with him. He's got a decent long pass and short passing. Curve is not that important because don't forget, most of these cards, let's be realistic, they're not going to be playing driven through balls in behind, like down the wing. It's going to be made in the central areas. So his passing is good. Now his agility and balance is really good. Now his dribbling is actually fantastic. Par ball control, but ball control is only when you have the ball at your feet, not when you're defending. And dribbling is only when you have the ball at your feet. So the big issue is well, doesn't his dribbling bad? But this is the thing. He's 6'2". He's got really good agility and balance. 87 to 86 balance. Look, if you're looking for a centre back that's really agile on the ball, he's definitely a card that you want. Don't forget, when you're running, the running jockey, the agility balance also takes into account the height and the agility balance of the run and jockey maneuver. That's why fullbacks, not only is it for their pace, fullbacks are better at centre back because of agility and balance. Of course, that is something to bear in mind. It's got really good composure though on the ball, good reactions. Defensive stats second to none. Everything's in its high numbers. There's no need to doubt that. Everything is 88, 86 defense awareness, 83 interceptions. So defending, he's really good. Physicality is up there as well. Stamina, again, it's not that important. People are putting too much emphasis on stamina for a centre back. It's not like it's a winger or a left mid or a right mid or a centre mid to be running a lot of the time. Most of the time, a card like this, realistically 81 stamina is completely fine. If we go over to the player traits, as you can see, he's got dives into tackle as a player trait. But don't forget, a lot of these traits, they mean nothing because dives into tackle, people keep saying, oh, my defender like Varane, he plays like this good because he's got dives into the tackles. It doesn't work like that. That's what CPAI does at Powerhead, and that's about it. In terms of his price wise, let's have a look at his price to see how much he's going for. So first of all, you do need to get a squad, 83 rated, 1 FC Porto playing 1 team of the week, and for that you do get a prime Electrum players pack in return. And for the second one, you do need an 85 rated squad and 1 team of the week. So I would say around about, if my maths is correct, about 100, 150. Could be pushing 200 depending on what the prices are like. Is he worth it? Now, truthfully speaking, this is the issue. Someone like Mangala, you can argue he's a good player in, I suppose you can say, La Liga, and that's it. The benefit that he does have is that he is a French player, so you can link him with anyone else if you've got the Koundé card. Now I'm just going to head over to Footbin for a second, and I'm going to take you down just some Footbin cards. I want to show you some comparisons. So if we go over here, and if you want to ever look at, let's say for example, a card comes out and you're considering deliberating doing it, always filter, see what other cards are available. Now if we go to Liga Santander and then we go to the centre backs, you can see that if you arrange this by price, just purely by price, we can see there's other cards available. Now Casemiro, who you could argue is a very, very similar card to Mangala. Very, very similar. He hasn't got the agility and balance, but for 200k he's tradable. And as I said, Mangala, he realistically needs a shadow. You need to get that sprint speed up. The acceleration is still an issue for me. So someone like Casemiro could be a tradable option. Would I recommend him? No. I'm going to set it as an example. Realistically speaking, the best person to compare him to realistically is someone like Jimenez. That's the first player who's been reduced heavily in price. And we do have the players like Diego, Carlos and Hermoso. These are the cards you want to compare him to. And I would say ultimately someone like Varane, because everyone's got Varane in their team. If we compare him just to Varane on the base stats, you could argue that Varane in some ways is better. Why? It's because Varane is, number one, is basically a tradable card, 50k. And you can argue the sprint speed is very much the same. And Varane's defending stats are very, very similar. Yes, he does win in physicality, but when is physicality that important? It's not. So that's the issue, that you can get someone like Varane for basically a much cheaper price. Although Varane doesn't have the agility and balance. That's kind of downside. But Varane is still meant to play, of course. He's medium high. If we compare him to Jimenez, another card as well, you could argue one that's got the pace and the acceleration, again lacks agility and balance. It's kind of the same thing, Varane, another card you have at disposal. Now the card I'm looking at here is Hermoso. Now Hermoso is the card that just came out a few days back. Now, in my opinion, this is the better card. Now, it does have the 5-star skill moves. Let's be honest, no centre-back is going to be using them as 5-star skill moves. Medium-high, but you see Hermoso, naturally speaking, has everything that you want. He's got the acceleration and he's got the sprint speed. He's got the agility and balance. The balance lacks a little bit, but he's still very good in game. And the passing is very much the same. And the defending, you could argue a little bit in it. Maybe Hermoso's got better stand tackling here and there and a few other characteristics. Mangala's got better heading accuracy, but apart from that, it's not that important. The physicality is similar, but Hermoso's got better jumping. So you could argue with a shadow, Hermoso is actually the better card. And that's why I'd say with a 96 sprint speed and a 92 acceleration, Hermoso will be the card to go with. If you want to go beyond that, I'd recommend going with a fullback. Now, I know everyone's not going to be playing fullbacks, and don't get me wrong, I know everyone's not about that life. So people are moving, but I'll give an example, right? As sad as it sounds, you can get Berchiche for what, 180k? And you can argue with him, with the shadow, even anchor, even on 7 chemistry, you could argue is better than Mangala. So that's the thing. So unless you want the French link, there's actually no reason to get him. Is he a meta card? I wouldn't say he's meta as you have to do him, but I do think he's a decent card. His acceleration does let him down, but look, you can get someone like Yuri Berchiche, play him on 7 chemistry, and arguably have better stats. You know, Berchiche got better passing, got better crossing. Physicality is kind of a mix when you put the chemistry style on him. The stand tackling, the most important thing, and defensive awareness is very much similar. You're talking about only 1 or 2 stats in it. And he's got the much better dribbling, and composure is very, very similar. And of course, he does have the reaction as well. So he's everything. And don't forget, he has the ball control and dribbling. So when you do win the ball back, at least you're better off there. And the height, yes, I agree that Berchiche is a bit shorter, but Berchiche is going to be much better in centre back. So that's why I wouldn't do him. Is he meta? I would say somewhat. I'm not saying he's not, but I wouldn't do him. If you're going to be playing him in CDM, however, he might not be a bad option. If you're going to be playing him as a CDM. If you're looking for a CDM in Liga Santander, there isn't that many good options. And I'll be honest, you're looking at maybe just a handful of players. And I think if you're looking to play him in CDM, then I think it's not that bad. But that's only for me playing him in CDM, because as you can see, if we arrange it by price, there isn't that many options. As you can see, we're going to see over here. Look, there's not that many. Yeah, Frankie de Jong, he's not really a CDM. No one here really has standout defensive stats. Maybe Llorente, maybe that's about it. But even then, you can argue Llorente is better. So, is he worth doing? I would say no, unless you have a French link and you want to get that link together. Otherwise, I would say don't waste your coins. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Take it easy, and I'll catch you next time.